In this video, I'm walking 40 kilometres through a very remote section of the Victorian Outback, taking inspiration from the old school explorers and the swagmen that came after them by doing the whole trip with only traditional camping gear. I will be walking off track for most of my journey, navigating by map and compass, and trying not to get lost in this vast dry landscape as I aim for the mighty Murray, Australia's longest river. I will experience dry creek systems, inland lakes, peaceful riverbanks, and remote mallee scrub, while experiencing wildlife that the great Australian outback has to offer. Join me on this 4-day solo adventure to see if I have what it takes to walk in the footsteps of those who came before. G'day everyone, welcome back to another adventure, and for this one I'm doing a 4-day solo big walkabout in mallee scrub outback country. Now this is a part of Victoria I've not been before, but it's full of these beautiful inland lakes, creek systems, and I will be walking along the mighty Murray River at some point as well, which is Australia's longest river. Now I'm doing it all as a traditional swagman, so I got my swagman get up. I got a lot of stuff actually because I got to carry water, and it's quite remote where I'm going, so I have to be prepared for this one. But yeah, it's just beautiful country and heaps of wildlife and bird life already. I've seen emus and cockies and these massive river red gums all around me. It's going to be an absolutely beautiful adventure. Let's do it. And I got here a bit late because it was a 6.5 hour drive to get here, and I was not feeling the best. Woke up real early, so I was really tired, low energy, and just not feeling really good. But I feel great now that I'm out here, and I'm going to walk about 10 k's today to get to where I want to camp on a riverbed. And there's all these flowers out and the butterflies are out and everything because I'm doing this in spring. It's just turned spring, which is the best time to come out in the outback because yeah, you get the wildflowers. It's not too hot, and you're still going to have some water in the creeks and in the rivers, so there should be plenty of water on this trip. So now one thing about this trek, I should say, this big walk that I'm doing, it's 40 kilometers, but this is stepping it up a little bit for me because this is one of my first pretty much all off-track walks. So I'm not walking on any trails. I'll probably walk across a few four-wheel drive tracks here and there, but yeah, this is all off-track navigation for this whole 40 kilometers. And being outback country, you know, you can get lost out here pretty easy since it's, you know, a lot of the same looking environment. Check out this big red river gum. That is so cool. There's lots of emus hanging out on these plains in these lake areas, but I keep trying to pull my big camera out, which is here, to try and capture them, but by the time they get wind of me, they're off, really spooked. So hopefully I'll capture an emu on this trip. Another big red kangaroo. Oh, off he goes. What I love about the big reds is they're real outback rude. Like we get the eastern greys where I live, but you got to start heading inland to get the big reds. Wow, something died here, plenty of bones, and that's where I'm going, that general direction. Talk about remote country out here. Jeez, you want to have your wits out here. So yes, I have a GPS on my phone, with a planned route with guide GPS on it. That can fail. Obviously, devices can fail. So that's why I have a little compass with me, and you know, it's kind of going back to how the early explorers would have done things, obviously with compasses and following, you know, rivers and things like that in a general direction. Now, I know that I can't get too lost because if I walk at least 20 kilometers to the east with my compass, I'll hit the Murray River. Once I hit the Murray River, obviously I know where I am pretty clearly in the landscape. So that's something that I can always do. It's the evening now, so I know that the sun should be on my back. The sun should be behind me. And then I also know I'm walking east even if I don't have a compass on me. So yeah, there's multiple ways I can navigate out here. I know the general landscape. I do have a topo map, but obviously the topo map's not going to give me a lot to work off because it's just rolling outback plains out here. So there is a creek system that I'm aiming for tonight. I don't know if there's water in it or not. I should have enough water with me anyway to last till I get to the Murray River tomorrow. Just stumbled into what would have been a dry creek bed. Awesome. Wow, what's this? Oh, sand dunes. Whew. Alright, this here is the creek that I was meant to be camping on tonight. Clearly, it's dry. There's no water in it. So lucky I've got enough water to get me to the Murray tomorrow. I know the Murray's going to have water in it, obviously. Just goes to show you got to be prepared. See, I was thinking there'd be water in this creek. It looked like quite a you know, a decent sized creek. So, you know, I was like, oh, probably, you know, it's only 10 kilometers there. Don't need to carry heaps of water, but just being sure, this is the outback. You never know. It looks like there was water there at one stage. If I keep walking along here, I might find some water, but I'm going to walk along this for quite a bit until I find the spot I want to camp. Well, there is water in this creek. I've walked up a bit and it's pretty manky down there. Alright, I'm almost at the place I want to spend camp. I just want to look for a nice clear area. You don't want to sleep under these river red gums right here because they are known to drop their branches. Even when it's still weather and there's no wind, they quite often drop their branches. So I want a big clear open patch, preferably with not a lot of leaf litter around. So it's coming to 5 o'clock, I'm wrecked. I just want to get a fire going, lay down on my swag and cook up some dinner. Not a bad spot amongst the river red gums, and I'm totally clear. I've got nothing that's going to come down on me. Awesome. It's 5:30. The sun's going down. I'm absolutely buggered. I already started this walk at like 60% energy, so that was like a 12k slog cross country. Now I know some of you are going to say, what are you doing in a riverbank, flash flooding, that kind of stuff, but look, I'm going to be alright. I've checked the weather forecasts and there's not much rain. It's actually been a very dry winter. It's a very, very, very low risk of flash flooding. Worst case scenario, I'm actually a little bit up on the bank, so the path of water is going to first go below me. It's not going to happen. I've got the radar as well. There's no rain on the radar, so I'll be right, guys. Yeah, I'm just going to set up camp here, make a little spot for myself, and get a fire going and do some cooking because I am spent. check this out. Freshwater clams, basically. Freshwater mussels, sorry. Yeah, awesome. So there's a bunch of shells of them around here. When this river was flowing, there would have been everything in here. Murray cod. I just want that fire to burn for a bit because I want to get some nice coals. Because my last Swagman video I did in the Outback, everyone made fun of my rabbit, which I absolutely burnt to a crisp over the hot flames. So I got a steak for tonight, and I'm going to show you that I can cook up a juicy, delicious meal. Well done without burning it. Two little bits of steak, see, and some broccolini. Right on the coals. Oh yeah. Better take it off. Don't want to overcook it. Broccolini. Alright, proof that I can cook a steak. Oh yeah, that's a proper steak. Jeez, it's bloody noisy. Can't a man get some peace? Oi! Alright everyone, it's been a good day. I'm wrecked. I haven't been able to film much this evening. I'll film a lot more tomorrow, but I'm just going to sit around this fire. I've got a little bit of brandy. I've got a pipe. I'm just going to enjoy this. I'll probably crash pretty early tonight, and then I can get up early and have a good day, big day tomorrow. Good morning everyone. Well, it got bloody cold last night. I did look at the weather forecast and it said it was going down to around 3 degrees, so it's pretty cold. And you know, I've only got a woolen blanket, so yeah, I'm glad I had that fire going all night to keep me warm. Even still, it was a bit of a rough night. I'd love hearing all the kangaroos move through this dry riverbed at night. You'd just hear bump, 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 and hop right past you, and obviously you know that's a kangaroo when you hear that kind of a sound. So while my coffee's boiling, I just thought I'd go through some of the gear that I've got with me. But first of all, I just want to show you this new pack. It's called the Trapper Pack, and it's by Jack Stillman. So these are beautiful wax canvas made bags. It's got all brass knobbings and stuff like that as well. It is on the heavier end, but it's not too bad, and it's got a bunch of little side pockets. I've got my topo map in there. I can chuck coggies. I can chuck stuff in this sleeve and on the behind sleeve as well. Jack Stillman also sent me out these little wax canvas pockets, and I find these really helpful to like organize my stuff. So this is my cooking kit, and then I've got another one here which I use to put my tobacco, my compass, my knife and stuff like that. So Yeah, I've just got a bunch of bits and bobs. Most of the stuff I have is traditional stuff that you would have been able to find in the early 1900s. Besides my emergency medical kit and my camera gear, obviously. But if you guys want to check out Jack Stillman, I'll put a link in the description. I do have an affiliate link with them now, so if you get anything from them, make sure you use my affiliate link. It's no extra cost to you, but it helps me. I get a small commission, and yeah, it helps me keep going with the channel. But so far, I'm really enjoying this trapper pack, and I like the feel of it, and it just looks bloody great. For brekkie, I've got the spiced ham, otherwise known as spam. Oh yeah, smells like bloody dog food, this does. And I'm definitely going to be cooking this up on the coals. Yeah. Now, for those of you who watched my other Outback walk I did, which I posted a while back, a lot of people ripped into me because I lost my knife on that trip, and I had only brought with me the one knife, my R&M blades. I ended up finding it again. This time around, yes, I brought up a backup knife. This is a genuine Swiss Army knife, an old one that my Opa grandfather kept in great condition. So I've got to thank him for that. But I'll be using that knife to slice up a bit of this dog food. Sure, look at it. And I'll be cooking this up on the hot coals, because there's no way I want to eat that plain. Blah. Whew! Breakfast of champions right there. Alright, off I go. So on my map I know I want to walk east, so if I hold it like that, I've got the compass pointing to the north, and I know that directly in front of me, east. I'm just trying to find a passageway, a safe passageway through these burrs. This is burr country. Oh man, that once they get stuck in your pants, it's so annoying, especially when you're trying to sleep. And there's a lot of them. I bet you can guess what that is. Velociraptor. Out here in the Outback. And again, besides using my compass, because I don't want to be holding it all the time, I can walk into the general direction of the sun, which is rising in the east and still quite low, so that gives me my general kind of bearing of east. I'm just thinking about what it must have been like for those first explorers who pushed through in this country and had no idea what was ahead of them and what they were going to find. Well, that's one of the biggest funguses I've ever seen. Just came across this thing as I was walking, and it's called a hog hopper, and it's for putting in poison baits to kill feral pigs, just out in the middle of nowhere. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, there she is. The mighty Murray River. Absolutely gorgeous, with some pelicans. The Murray River, being Australia's longest river,
has a total length of 2,508 kilometres. It begins in the Great Dividing Range and finds its way down the Alps and finishes all the way at its mouth in South Australia. Its tributaries also include some of the other longest rivers in Australia, like the Darling and Murrumbidgee rivers. The Murray-Darling Basin covers 1/7 the area of Australia and is vital to being the bread bowl of this country. Meandering over such a large area of Australia, many different Indigenous tribes called the banks of the Murray River home. This particular area is home to the Duddy Duddy and Waddy Waddy people who hunted and gathered food along its resource-rich banks for thousands of years. Many European explorers were drawn to this area, and there was a wide belief in the eastern rivers of Australia flowing westward into a great inland sea. Many famous explorers set out to discover the mystery of this great river basin, like Hamilton Hume, Charles Sturt, Edward John Eyre, and Major Thomas Mitchell. They explored the Murray and her tributaries, opening up land for stock grazing. These were the great overland adventures. Often facing death by dehydration, coming upon the Murray River must have felt like deliverance to them, in the short term and also the long term, as it opened up the interior of the country for development and no doubt played a large part in the Australia that we know today. Even for my measly little adventure in comparison, it felt like a great relief to finally gaze upon a steady, wide stream of water in a harsh and dry landscape.
This is a vintage, it's actually a Bulgarian military little alcohol fuel stove. A quarter of this. There we go. Alright, so I'm just going to walk north along the Murray River now, and the idea is to try and find a nice place to camp. And you know, ideally I'd love to camp on one of these sand spits that, you know, when you get your bends in the river, like on the other side there. By the way, don't go over to that side of the Murray River. That's where all the strange people live. That's New South Wales. You don't want to go there. You want to stay on this side of the Murray. But anyway, just following this track that goes along the river, make it easy for myself for a little bit. This is it. This is camp on the mighty Murray. First things first, I'm going swimming. That is so good. Bit of a flow on it actually. The Murray River. I'm so glad I get to do a Murray River trip. I've been wanting to do a Murray River trip for a long time, since it's such an iconic river. Australia's longest river. This is glorious. I'm going to try and fill up my water bag, but I'm going to go out to the river a little bit away from the bank. And for a bit of lunch, some baked beans. I'm just going to eat them cold, can't be bothered cooking them up. This swag is a cotton oilskin tarp that I've made myself, which I use for the main swag. I'm also carrying an oilskin in here, and then basically a woolen blanket, which is what the old fellas would have had. But I tell you what, it gets cold with that woolen blanket. One thing I want to show you though is this. This here is a beautiful sheepskin bedroll from Peak Oil Company, and Lee does a great job with these, and I actually would recommend that if you want a sheepskin bedroll, get this one. I have a sheepskin that I've used before, which is two sewn together, but I like this one because it's that rectangle shape. It's a little bit smaller, so it means it's a little less weight to carry. But the coolest thing about this is he's put a slit in here, so when it gets cold in the evenings, if I wanted to, I could put that around me like that, and then using a belt, look at that. I mean, how bloody pioneer can you get? Okay, for dinner tonight, it's only 5:30, but I might cook up because I'm so hungry. For dinner tonight, and then also tomorrow night, so I won't explain it tomorrow night, but I'll explain it for tonight. I've got a bunch of beef jerky now. In my last Swagman adventure I did in the Outback, I brought biltong along with me, and someone in the comments recommended that I actually boil up the biltong in water, and it creates a bit of a stew, because the dehydrated meat obviously expands and becomes a bit more soft and chewy, but all the spices that are mixed up in the biltong will go into the soup and become like a flavored soup. So I have teriyaki beef jerky. So beef jerky is something the old fellas would have had, and boiling that up into a stew is something that they would have done. I couldn't be bothered making damper on this trip because it's just, I'm quite tired, and it was going to be a big trip. So instead I went to Baker's Delight and I quickly picked up a couple of rolls. So I'll have the stew soup with one of these rolls, and I've got another one for tomorrow night, and that'll be my dinner for tonight. It smells really good. It smells like a proper broth, and look how big the jerky bits have gone. That actually, I think, is going to be a good idea. I'm just going to let that cool, and then I'm going to get stuck into it. This is up there with one of the best camps I've had. I mean, it's hard to know when you've camped that many times which one's the best spot, but when you get to camps like this, it's just glorious. There's so much bird life around. There's pelicans everywhere, cockies, kookaburras. It's so peaceful, there's no one around, I've got it to myself. And yeah, it's just moments like these that are really special. And it's these moments that I come out here for and do these big adventures for, to just have these still moments out in nature. Everything is alive, and just, get put in your place.
I've got a big walk today. I'd like to leave here a bit early because apparently there's going to be a high chance of thunderstorms in the evening, which is kind of unsettling when you're cowboy camping. And then saying it's going to get down to 3 degrees, which is really cold. So anyway, it is what it is when you're out here. You know, it is still just coming out of winter, so that's why there's still chances of showers. Yum.
Couple of feral goats drinking from the Murray on the other side. Feral goats and feral big pigs are a big problem in these areas. I've just left the Murray and now I'm walking inland again. Well, Murray is inland, but yeah, walking away from the Murray out into Outback country. And I'm actually going to walk, probably half of this walk I'm going to walk along this old track, and this is probably keeping more in line with what the Swaggies used to do, because they wouldn't really go off country so much just because it was wild country and it was dangerous, so they'd stick to the tracks. So yeah, I'm an old Swaggy just for the half the day today, but then I will be going cross country.
The Australian Swagman, a wary traveller by foot, he was common during the 1800s and 1900s of Australia. Often walking long remote roads to get from town to town, he would look for work on the go, whether shearing, farm labour or logging. Especially common during times of economic uncertainty, like in 1890 or the Great Depression of the 1930s, he was known to carry his swag, a canvas wrap with a woolen blanket tied up in the form of a bedroll and slung over the shoulder. Usually a tucker bag and a billy was carried as well, and food consisted of traditional damper and, if lucky, some meat like wallaby or mutton. The famous Australian poets and writers like Henry Lawson and Banjo Patterson often wrote about the Swagman, his ability to get by on little and to disappear from town just as quickly as he appeared once the work had dried up. They tended not to dwell too deep into the bush, but stuck to the well-worn tracks and roads that ran from town to town. Yet this was still a remote life that needed good bushcraft experience to be able to get by.
So I keep coming across these. Oh man, what is this? It's like a native pumpkin or native melon or something, or it's not quandong. It's I really need to know my desert bush tucker more, because I'm more I know more about like Victoria coastline bush tucker and forests, but out here I'm not so sure. So I don't know, it looks and feels like something you'd be able to eat, but let me know in the comments, guys, what that is. Hello. Nice blue tongue there, mate. Finally got a little bit closer to an emu. I've been seeing them in the distance this whole walk, but I can't get close enough to them. They get really spooked, so I kept really still. And he'd look up, he'd kind of look around, I'd stay still, then he'd start pecking again on the ground, and I'd walk a little closer, and then he'd get whiff of me. But in the end, yeah, I got pretty close, but yeah, he ran off. Funny little animals, or big animals I should say. Okay, I'm now leaving the road and I'm going cross country because the road goes to the south and I want to go west. All right, here we go. So as you can see, line that up to the north, I want to go west, that way. Well, that's cool. Guys, that's a bearded dragon. They're actually very relaxed animals. I used to have a pair of these when I was a kid. They can be quite chilled.
Look at him, just chilling on his log. Beautiful animal. Wow, just came across this area with these incredible river gums. They are such amazing trees. Look at this old fella. Oh, check it out. I've just come out onto this Outback lake, and I think this is where I'll be setting up camp tonight. Somewhere around here. Look at that. That is cool. Well, I can't say I've ever camped in a place like this before. That's it, guys, and this is where I'll be sleeping tonight. Hopefully that'll be enough to keep the rain off me. It feels pretty secure in here. We'll see how I go. Honestly, it kind of feels like Kakadu or Arnhem Land a little bit, like the wetlands you get there, the billabongs. It's, yeah, weird weather as well. It's like hot 27. It was 27 today, but these outback storms are brewing, so I should be good in my little colonial style tent there, just an oilskin, hopefully. Oh wow. First drops of rain. It's been stormy. Whew, it's absolutely gorgeous right now out here. Well, it is a beautiful evening, even though it's a bit ominous with thunderstorms and stuff, but I'm just going to sit around the fire for a bit with a bit of brandy and then an early night tonight. I'll catch you in the morning, guys. And you're thinking, what am I? Oh, off we go. I didn't like the sound of my voice, did ya? There you go. Well, it was cold last night, to be expected. And there was these big storms that rolled through during the night. Not a heap of rain, but you know, a lot of wind. But I was protected. Oil skin does really well, protecting me from the wind and from the rain. So it's not a huge walk back today, but yeah, I'm pretty wrecked. This trip really actually took it out of me because I'm getting older and I'm getting softer. Power up on a little tin of cold beans for the brekkie. Oh, me poor shoulders. When you start walking again on day 4, all your muscles are just screaming at you. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing this again? Imagine doing these kind of things just like day in, day out for months on end. The Swaggies were tough men. Winding up this trip, I felt pretty proud of my achievement. I don't mind the established hiking trails, but finding your own way off track is really what makes me feel alive, and I feel connects me more to those old timers who went before me. I had to find a way through the landscape in what must have been much harsher times. Learning about the history to an area that I'm walking through helps me connect to the past as I try to relive it, even if just for a few days. This country we live in is vast, deadly and beautiful. I feel very proud to call Australia home and blessed to be able to roam this land. Alright folks, I'm almost at the car, just got to walk along this lake until I get there, but it's been a bloody great trip, tiring trip. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment below and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel. There'll be plenty more videos coming in the future. Thanks guys, have a good one. Made it.